Hello, everyone, and welcome to our first episode of the new year or new semester, whichever you want to call it. Um, if you haven't watched this before, this is Facilitating the Lightbulb Moments, a podcast made by UNG Supplemental Instruction, where we talk about academics, college life, and just anything that really comes to our mind. So I'm Victoria, and this semester I am joined by my amazing co-host Claire, who, like me, works for the social media marketing team. And yeah, Claire, I'll leave it to you to tell us a little bit more about yourself.
Well, hello everyone. I am so excited to join y'all this semester, especially in facilitating the light bulb moments. Like Victoria said, I'm with the social media marketing team with UNGSI, and I'm from Covington, Georgia. And I came to UNG. I tried a bunch of different colleges, but I came to UNG and I just immediately felt at home. And the same goes for SI. When I met SI facilitators, I just knew that it was something I wanted to be a part of. And while I chose a different route of social media, I couldn't be more thrilled to be a part of this team. And I cannot wait to start this podcast with Victoria or join the podcast with Victoria and talk about great things.
Awesome. So for this episode, we're talking about setting our achievable goals for 2023. I know we're already like a month in, but we can do a little check-in on any goals we may have set. And for this one, we are joined by a fellow SI, Elise. And so I'm gonna bring her in, and we're gonna learn a little bit more about her. Hi,
Hey,
Elise.
Hello.
How are you?
I'm doing well. I'm having a pretty good day. I kind of like the cloudy weather happening right now for whatever reason.
very much so. It makes me feel like I'm in Twilight.
That's really how I think all the time. Like it looks just like I can't believe I'm not the only one.
I'm with you, girl.
I've never seen Twilight, so I'm a watch it and then.
Oh, we're putting you on that right after this. We're
Yes,
gonna make we're gonna make a whole podcast. Light bulb moment regarding Twilight.
yeah. SI movie night for
I'm down. Anyways.
Um, now that now that we've identified one of Victoria's goals for the new year,
Yes.
to watch Twilight, uh, Elise, we were wondering if well, and we can say examples too, but do you personally put forth goals in your own life, work and personal? Um, and then like what are some if you don't mind sharing like some new year goals that you might have set?
Definitely. I def I definitely try to set goals with both parts of my life, like with work, with SI, and same with personal. One of my most exciting goals I've set kind of like a New Year's resolution, actually. It's more of a personal goal, but one thing I really hope to develop as a skill is actually drawing. As this, so what I like to I just did some research before the New Year's to see like how can I actually do this in an achievable way, because I've tried practicing drawing before and then I lose track and then it goes like days of me not drawing anything. So this New Year's I was like, okay, I've just graduated, so I have extra time on my hands. I can definitely take advantage of this to work on a new skill that I've been meaning to for a while. So at least for me, usually I try to research maybe other ways people have taught themselves how to draw, like, and this can work for any type of goal. So personally I used YouTube to help me. There's a lot of different approaches you could take to goal setting, but for me with drawing, I like looked up on YouTube and there was like a 30-day how to like teach yourself how to draw challenge, and I was like, and a lot of it was like really simple, at least at first, like drawing cylinders, circles. And I'm like, I think I can handle doing this a few minutes each day. So I've been working on that. I did start it a little bit after the New Year's, mostly because I was still in holiday mode. So that is my bad. So I'm like maybe like on day 17 for it. So I'm not a full month in, but I am staying consistent to my goal, just doing it each day, which I think with goals, the biggest thing you can do is stay consistent, even if you're doing little by little. that's kind of the point of like the 30-day challenge, because you start off drawing a circle, and now the challenge I did today was like drawing a pyramid of like cubes and then a pyramid of cylinders. So like building it up little by little. But definitely have seen improvement just from even drawing simple shapes like that.
Do you have any like specific things you want to like at the end of, your drawing thing through YouTube? Is there anything you want to draw?
Um, I kind of want to learn how to draw everything almost, which
Love.
to be fair with drawing, that's actually kind of a reasonable goal, which sounds unreasonable at first, but a lot of what drawing is like you have to learn how to construct things first, like break it down to as simple as shapes, and then you can kind of build up off of that. But the one thing I'd love to be able to draw well is I just love drawing people. That's like one of my favorite things. When I was like middle school, I used to draw a lot more, and I usually would draw like my favorite characters or like a celebrity I liked or something like that. So I definitely want to draw people, and especially in a realistic style, which is something I wasn't always the best at in the past. So I really wanted to build up that skill first with realism.
It. Victoria,
Awesome.
do you have any goals, New Year's goals?
So far I've been very trying to set goals for travel. I'm trying to study abroad in the summer. And if anybody studied abroad or tried to, it is a very long process that you don't think is long until you do it because there's so many nuances to it. But definitely just trying to travel more and get out there. But back to what Elise was saying, I really wish I had the birthday card you made.
Oh,
Everybody, because it's one of my favorite things. And your little drawing on it was so cute.
oh, thank you.
It was, yeah, but I don't know. I know where it is, but I can't get it right now. But Elise, if you want to like maybe go back and tell us a little more about yourself, like
Oh yeah,
where you're from, how you got in SI and kind of your role in it now. I know it's kind of
yeah.
changed over time, but if
Yeah,
you had to
and
give
I
anything like
apologize.
that.
I didn't really get to introduce myself in the beginning of
Oh
this
no, you're
podcast,
fine.
We started
but
having fun. It's
yeah,
okay.
it's okay.
We'll do it
We
now.
had our Twilight talk.
Yeah, it's like the Twilight that like made my brain go a bunch of different ways.
No,
Sorry.
all good.
But so I'm Elise, and as you guys can see, I think with the little Zoom name at the bottom, but I've been my current role with SI is senior mentor, so that kind of looks like similar to I do a lot of things similar to other mentors. Like I'll do observations, I'll give feedback on sessions I observe. Um so kind of just being a great support system for the team, and as well as my other mentors and senior leaders as well on the lead team. I'm just kind of a helping hand for everyone. I feel like that's the best way to describe my role as senior mentor in a simple way. And I've been with the SI program since spring 2020, so it's been a really long time now that I think about it, even though it doesn't even feel that long to me. But I think you said like what got me into the program, Victoria, and I guess it kind of ties in a little bit to our theme of goal setting, because I am I still come off, I think I still struggle a little bit with like being shy and socially anxious at times. I know a lot of people have been there. So I was even worse off. Like I think I was a sophomore when I joined SI. So I was like, okay. So one of my goals was to like get better at public speaking, get less shy talking to people. So of course I throw myself into SI like right off the bat just to as one of those goals. So maybe you don't have to be as extreme as me, but I am grateful that I did join SI to help build those skills, because like I said, now I'm senior mentor, and a lot of my job is talking with people and presenting, sometimes like during training, and sometimes even helping with bi-weeklies. So I do a lot of like public speaking still for my job, and just one-on-one talking with my mentees as well. So I think I've come a long way with that goal for sure.
Yeah, I love it. Um, I definitely think a lot of our decisions, especially through college, are basically based off goals.
Mhm.
Um, And other than UNGSI, because you have obviously accomplished your goal through that, did you have any, because I know you just recently graduated, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Yay, congrats, by the way.
Thank
Um,
you.
did you have any goals through college that like you saw finished or even that you're like carrying on now?
Um, I guess this is one that took me a while to get used to, and I feel like it's almost maybe not like this big spectacular goal, like maybe they it's that. So I'm sorry if that's what the answer you guys are looking for, who's ever listening to podcasts. But one goal I did have in college that I kind of feel like, and I still work on now, like it is kind of a process, but it's just like finding balance in life because being a senior mentor and even when I was just a just SI facilitator, like finding that balance with work and school and then my personal life and then being healthy by trying to like go to the gym. So it's a lot. It's really hard to find balance when um you're an adult basically when you have so many responsibilities. So well I feel like I wish I could be more specific on how like I planned and achieved this goal. I'm gonna be honest, I think a lot of it was trial and error, but I definitely feel like I found a way to balance my life in the way I am for my own needs. And I think with goal setting, that's something you can think about a lot is like how is this helping me like with my just with what I care about as a person and also am I still giving myself space to like take care of me so I can really actually be successful in these goals because a lot of times I would have the goal that most students have like I want to get all A's this semester so but how am I going to do that without spending a bunch of all-nighters in the library and still making sure I get enough sleep and enough self-care that I'm not stressed out like so I still feel like I'm working on that a little bit as I graduation, especially moving into just finding like a new job and like how am I gonna balance that out if I get another job in the future after graduation? Like how am I gonna balance out those same skills because it's gonna be a totally different environment compared to college, I'm assuming. So
Yes,
like
definitely.
I feel like I can't be that specific on it because it's something I kind of like I feel like I'm in a good place, but I'm not sure like it's I feel like the goal I have with balances looks different for every person.
Yeah, I definitely think like goals are measurable to our own selves. Like there's some big goals that are very broad that affects different points of your life. So like the
Yeah.
balance goal, it can affect your work life, it can affect your school life, it can even affect your personal life. But so it's very broad, but when it's applied to like the different sectors of your life,
Mhm.
it can get very minuscule and it tedious and
Yeah.
you want balance in your work life, but sometimes it overflows to making sacrifices in your personal. So it definitely goes back and forth, and it's all measurable against
Hmm.
everyone's own processes of goal setting.
Hmm.
My fellow business majors know those as SMART goals, where SMART is
Yeah.
literally an acronym. So, and measurable is one of them.
Oh yeah, do
Um,
y'all have any like how do y'all set goals? Like when you're setting a goal, what does it look like for y'all? Do you have like a process in which to set a goal?
I used to make mine like really specific, like New Year's
Hmm.
resolutions. I know I would be like, I'm gonna do this specific thing by this specific time. And I learned for me that didn't quite work as well because I made it so specific that I could only achieve it in one way. And so I didn't really give myself any leniency. So now I kind of do more of a goal of just like take care of myself more and or like be healthier. And then like as I'm going through, I can kind of see what that looks like instead of just like making it very concrete. So I kind of,
Definitely.
yeah. How about you, Claire?
I tend to over promise, or I get very excited when it comes to goal setting because I have an idea and I'm like, this is going to be amazing. I'm going to do this, and my whole life is going to change. And then I forget that the goals that I want to set. So, for example, if I want to find more balance in my life, or I want to, just have a little bit more organization. I have to realize that I'm going from zero, like no organization, to, quite, planners, staying on schedule. And this year, it's been a goal every year for me to be more organized, but I've found that it's hard whenever when you're like out and about and somebody's like, "Oh, you want to go to lunch tomorrow?" And you're just like, "Yeah, I love you. Yes, I want to go to lunch." And then you realize you have, a test the next day and you have to study, but you really want to see that person. So it's more of like organization and balance. And when I was making this goal for the new year, I kind of set into stone that I'm going to take it a day at a time. Like I am going to write my schedule out, but like I'm going to leave enough time in my day to like where I can. So I would say whenever I'm goal setting, especially this year, and it's worked so far. I mean, it's February 9th and I've done pretty well, but whenever I am goal setting, I definitely want to leave space, trial and error. I want to leave room for error so that I'm not disappointed and just quit on the whole goal itself.
Yeah, that work-life balance is very hard for a lot of college students because yeah, like you said, we get invited to things and we're like, oh my gosh, this will be amazing. But then you're like, oh, I got a lot of homework, and but it is a trial and error process. So I get you. My planner, I have like there's like a to do and it's weekly. So I can like make sure I get the stuff done for the week and then kind of like make sure it's done then instead of like being mad at myself because I didn't get it done on that specific day. So I'll be like, I still have the rest of this time to get it done. So I can chill out a little bit more.
I
And
like that
so
idea.
I love it.
I'm gonna have to take that.
Yeah. Just to make a to-do list for the week. And Elise, are you a very specific, like very time oriented, like this hour I want this done, or are you more like overall?
I feel like I go back and forth, especially depending on the type of goal, which I think we kind of talked about too. Like there's different approaches, and sometimes kind of like how you, Victoria, said, like when you made a SMART goal, like you feel like you can only achieve it one way, when maybe there's other ways you could achieve that same goal. So I think SMART goal has its time and place. I've used SMART goal, like I think I kind of used that mentality last semester with working out, like I was just going to the gym, which was honestly, it was hard for me with my schedule. It was so busy, and but I was also like, I don't want to be that person that's like, oh, I don't have time to work out. So I was like, I'll give myself some grace. Like Claire was saying, like you have to give yourself some grace, because you can't expect to, if you want to start waking up like at 6 a.m. every day, but you sleep in until 11 a.m., you might need some wiggle room there to get used to that goal, or maybe try 9 a.m. first and then move a little bit earlier as you get used to that schedule. But like with going to the gym, especially, I just knew my schedule would look different each week with different tests, different projects. And then with SI, observation times change each week, so I'm seeing different people each week. So I told myself I would just try to go to the gym at least 3 times a week, which I would like to go more, but I just knew from this how overwhelmed I was with other stuff in my life that, at least in that type of goal, anything was better than nothing. And even just going 3 times a week I was really happy with that goal. So that's kind of made me a little bit more specific, but also like using that. I don't remember which letter it was, but I think one is like literally like realistic or something. A cinnamon. I can't say that word.
Synonym.
Yeah, I can't say that word.
Synonym.
Y'all have talked a lot about SMART goals, and honestly, I'm a communications major. I totally skipped over that part. I am a communications major, but I have not heard of SMART goals before. I just did. In a leadership conference. I heard about it and I learned about it. But that means that some other people might not know.
Yeah.
So do y'all know the acronym word for it?
So it's specific, measurable, attainable, results oriented, and I'm forgetting the T.
The T is just like time.
Yeah,
Timely,
time.
timely. There we go. I just had a management class where I did it. So I literally have SMART goals in like 3 of my classes right now. So yeah, they're very important.
Yeah.
I would say with the SMART goals, because we did it, and just to practice the SMART goals, we had to like make our own. And I'm seeing it like live in action happening right now that because I want to overpromise because I want it to be amazing and I want it to get done. But for some things like regarding I'm in like a student organization and we wanted to have a goal where like we would have a certain amount of tabling events. And it takes a lot of organization to have that. You have to have people to promise to do it, and you have to have permission and location and all this stuff, and provided what's going to go on the tabling. And so there's a lot of planning that you have to account for that might take some time. And while I wanted to be like, oh, we'll have one every month, the realistic goal setting of that was we might need some wiggle room on that. So with our SMART goal, we definitely set some we emphasize the realistic standards on this. And I'm seeing it now, like we're having one on Valentine's Day, and we've already started planning ahead. Like we're planning now so that we won't be so like time restrained in the future. So planning ahead has definitely helped. I've noticed in real time that with like goal setting and stuff. So Elise, I know that you've obviously are a SI, Hall of Fame member. So with SI, did you learn any like specific goal things that were important or that you implemented in your sessions?
I guess I feel like this is something that isn't exactly has to be unique to SI, but one thing in terms of goals that I got a lot out of SI was it is something that you can even do. You don't have to be a part of a big organization to get this to help you, but like the accountability that gets held onto you in SI, because even starting out as a facilitator, like I I think a lot of the facilitators on a team, like I think this semester they're getting like their first check-ins with a mentor as well as their designated supervisor, so either Sarah or Emily. And a lot of times we'll have facilitators make their own goals and check-ins, which I did the same thing as a new facilitator. And of course, during debriefs, mentors will be like, oh, how are you doing on this goal? So it's really like checking how your progress has been and like having someone like there to support you and just hold you accountable to like remind you like, hey, this is a goal you had, have you been working on it? And if you're still if it's like something you're struggling with, you have someone to help give you ideas on how to keep working on that goal and achieve that goal. And usually at the end of the semester there's like a final check-in, and you'll I think I'm not sure who will be with this semester, probably either Emily or Sarah. But they'll like ask you maybe how reflect back on the semester and what goals you've completed or what ones you are still working on. And that a lot of times motivated me, so I'd want to let my supervisor or my mentor know that I've completed a goal and kind of just have that proud moment. So, but of course, being proud of yourself, just you don't have to have other people be proud of you. You can also just be proud of yourself as well. But if you're someone that really needs that accountability, you can always ask a friend. Like if you have a friend that wakes up early, ask them to call you early in the morning so you'll wake up, if that's what your 6 a.m. waking up goal. Or if you have someone that like even if they don't go to if they don't go to the gym, like you have someone just hold you accountable, like, hey, did you go to the gym today like you had on your goal list, like on your schedule? So that's just the most like that's one of the biggest things I got out of SI in terms of helping me achieve goals. And a lot of times I would kind of do the same with students, like asking them like if they've had I usually would have like post-test sessions where like I would review study skills more, and that would be a chance where students would kind of make goals for the next exam, and I would check in on them on how their studying's going, asking them a session and giving them again tips if they're still struggling a little bit with those goals that they have for themselves in the class. So I guess that's how I kind of also integrated it some to my students as well.
What kind of like advice do you have to students? And by students, I also mean me, because it is getting into the second month of semester and I'm getting a little tired. What would you say with like I don't know, I guess motivation in, because I guess that's a goal, like to keep having motivation to, take notes, go to class,
Yeah.
and carry on throughout the semester. Do you have any advice, especially now that like you graduated, you have years under your belt
Mhm.
of experience. Do you have any advice for like how to stay motivated through your goals?
Yeah, although I feel like my answer might surprise you, but I feel like it actually helped me a lot. And I feel like it's something, a reminder that a lot of people need, especially college students, is being intentional with taking breaks as well. Because if you are working like 7 days a week, you're gonna get burnt out. And the only way to not be burnt out is to take time to rest, because that's like your body signaling you, like, please, I need some extra sleep. I need just time to not focus on anything difficult right now. And so letting yourself take a break, and this is something I was going to mention earlier, but like um I usually, like, for me, you can like use an agenda, like written format, but usually a lot of times I use Teams for like scheduling my week, and sometimes I'll even schedule something fun, like almost like a meeting, because I'm so used to scheduling meetings on my for SI that I'm like, okay, what if I made I don't remember what I got this like idea from, like it was like a interview with a celebrity, and I can't remember who it was. Like I think it was it sounds random, but I think it was his name Jerry Seinfeld. Like when he was writing the show, he felt like he was too busy to write the show, so he would make a meeting with himself to force himself to write the show. So like it's kind of like similar to how like his job was, like because he was felt like he was too busy, and like he achieved his goal, because now that's a really famous comedy. I've never seen it though, but I think I remember that interview, and I was like, that's a great way to think about it, especially just the way my life usually looked as a student, just schedules and classes, like kind of the same philosophy of I can't go to the gym right now. I'm gonna be doing my 5 p.m. let's just relax like or something fun. Like I'll even do that for like drawing, just for fun. Like at 5 p.m. I'll do some fun drawing just to 5:30, just to relax and do something creative. And I also do the same thing in little or increments. So like at least from a student perspective, studying was the hardest thing to motivate myself for, because usually that would end up, if you could usually I would try to study earlier in the day if I had the time, but usually my study time would be late in the day, and it's hard to want to study when you're already tired, and it's especially when the time change and it's like dark out at like 4 p.m. and so one thing I would do is kind of give myself grace as well, which I feel like this sounds weird, but it really worked for me, and I promise I got good grades as a result of this. So like there's something on YouTube. Again, YouTube being my one big resource is using like the Promoto method, and it's like a timer method. Like you'd work 25 minutes, you take a break 5 minutes, you work 25 minutes, you take a break for 5 minutes. And at least for me, that really helped me stay motivated to study, because I'm like, okay, I only have to do it for 25 minutes and I get to take a break. I get to look at my phone or look at a YouTube video for 5 minutes, whatever my brain is itching to do. And that has really helped keep me motivated, like give myself those rewards, like because I do deserve it for working hard. And even if you have to be the one yourself to reward yourself, I think that's so something special about that too.
Yeah, I whenever I take a lot of online classes right now, and especially with working in social media, it's like a triple whammy because my job is on my phone, and then my school is also on my phone, and then my friends are on my phone. So it's crazy that I'm on my phone. I don't know why I would be, but I find it really hard. Like my end is whenever I log on, do my username, and then it's duo. and then I have to pick, because I get in the mindset, I'm like, I'm gonna study right now. I pick my phone up to hit the, answer, press one, and then I just lose. My phone is in my hand. My phone is in my hand, and I'm suddenly on my phone. And this semester was like, that was one of my goals, is to, actually like set aside time for myself, because I did hear about that. Actually, I watched the same thing as you on YouTube. When so like I like set aside time for myself in my planner to like, I need to do this no matter what it is, no matter what it is, school, work, whatever. Just set that time aside. And so I've been doing the study sessions with myself then. And whenever I like have my phone on Duo, like I don't know how I do it, but I just hit one and throw my phone. I can't look at it. I can't do anything. But having like physical notes has helped me a lot, like writing it on paper, because like if I take it on my iPad, then I'm on my technological device. And so having like written things has helped me a lot on the motivation side of, taking notes and following through with it, I guess. Crazy, I don't know. But at least, do you have anything that has helped your motivation this semester?
Um, I like I'm trying to a lot of it really was just what I was talking about just
Yeah.
before with the just being intentional with taking breaks and even like scheduling breaks for myself because I don't know it's so important because I'll totally forget to eat or take a break if I don't put it in a schedule. And thankfully for me, I don't think I definitely relate to what you were saying, Claire, because the Duo always gets me too. Like I'll click the Duo, like sign me in, and I'll like instantly click Instagram right after. And I'm like, what just happened? I'm at the library, I'm trying to study, not look at my phone. But sometimes, especially if it's a long day, like last semester, like sometimes I'd have long days and then I'm like, oh goodness, I have a test tomorrow. How am I gonna motivate myself to keep studying after a long day? So sometimes just giving myself some grace as well was what helped me the most. Like if I can study, like it's almost like tricked my brain a little. Like I only have to study for 25 minutes, then I take a break, and then like just repeating that same thing, kind of like if you're like tired of walking, you just tell yourself, "Oh, I'll take a break once I get to the next tree," but you keep telling yourself that. I feel like that makes it easier for me. Like, I guess the best way to summarize what I was trying to say is take things in little chunks. Sometimes helps a lot. It's not gonna work out if you try to overload yourself with anything all at once. Like even going to the gym, like the first day, in my opinion, is the hardest day ever at the gym. So if you try to do every possible workout in one gym session, that's just not gonna work out, and it might even make you not want to go again because you're like, my body is in so much pain when you maybe shouldn't have done all that at once.
Victoria, do you have any motivation right
I was
now?
gonna speak a little on the do you have any motivation? I'm on the podcast, so I have to have some sort of thing, or else I'd be laying in bed right now.
Definitely.
Especially with the rain going. But I was gonna speak a little bit on the break side because I noticed a lot of college students forget to eat throughout the day. It's one of the biggest things, like, because you're like, okay, I gotta do all this work, I gotta go to class, I gotta do this, and then they're like, why do I feel like crap? I'm like, when was the last time you eat? They're like, have you eaten? And they're like, I don't know. And I'm like, okay. So for me, I have classes like a little in the morning, and then I have a break, and then I have classes after that. And so I always meet up with friends at Hogue, which is the student center in Dahlonega, and I always say I'm gonna take an hour off, and I'm just gonna eat and talk with people. Like I always like I put my I don't even get my laptop out. I don't get any of that out. I just sit there. Like I don't do anything else. And I think that's really helped because after I have like that hour, I can then be like, okay, let me look at my planner and see what assignments I need to do. And now I can like kind of go and check those off. But before it was like very draining to just kind of go, 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 and then not take a break. So I think it's very important to like take a minute, hang out with people, eat something. Your body needs sustenance, and just kind of like just chill for a little bit because it's gonna be okay. I just had a professor yesterday, and because we have a test next week, and he's like, y'all are the most stressful people. Like y'all stress me out with your stress. He was like, because this test is for one class. It's one test, and it's for one class that makes up one part of your degree, and it's one part of your life. So why are you stressing out so much about it? And I was like, that's very true. And so I thought that was really important. And then he kept making Frozen Let It Go jokes. So he was great.
That definitely helps with like because I'm very like end of the world is going to happen if this does not go right in my head. And it's definitely helped with like it is like if it's regarding class, it is one class. And professors know that we're students. They know that we're humans. They are too. And so a lot of professors are understanding of that. And it's just a matter of like taking it into your own hands of being like, you know what? This is only one part of my day. Especially I saw this thing, and y'all can tell me if because I want to implement it, but I don't know if it'll be detrimental or not. So y'all can tell me yes or no. But she was saying, because if I wake up and I don't get the breakfast that I wanted, my day's ruined. So she was like, break your day into parts. And so like there's early morning, early afternoon, and have different points so that if something does go wrong in mid-afternoon, it's not ruining your late evening. Um, I've done it for one day, and it's really hard to remind yourself because when you're in that zone, especially like you're having that test and it's all consuming because that's the only thing you're thinking about. It's really hard to have those checkpoints with yourself. But honestly, it's kind of like setting a meeting for yourself, but throughout the entire day. Like, oh, 10 a.m., I need to check in with myself and see where we're at. Are we having a fun time? Yes or no? Do we need to reevaluate? And do we need to change something? So I think checkpoints is honestly really important. And it goes with that. I think when you have a checkpoint, it helps minimize the magnitude of the issue in your head. So checkpoints are my viable option. Do y'all agree?
I agree.
Me too. That kind of reminds me, I don't know, I feel like I've heard other people talk about this, but like it's something I've just done naturally myself too. Sometimes as just being an anxious person, like if I'm like really worrying about something in the moment, I'm like, am I gonna really worry like would I care about this in a week? Most of the time, no, I'm not gonna be thinking about it in a week. And I guess with like a test, that's a little bit different. You might still be thinking about your grade in a week after the test, but like in a year, is this gonna ruin my life in a year? Like in a year's time, am I really gonna be thinking about that test every single second? Probably not. I probably would have moved on and by then, no matter what the grade was. So like either way, like I'm gonna be at a point where I'm okay. And most of the time, like a lot of my stress is unneeded in the moment when most things aren't a big deal.
Definitely.
That's very true. Yeah, in college it's really easy to get bogged down in your classes and stuff. And I also do the thing where I'm like, a year from now, is this gonna matter? Because a lot of times, like I'm one that I'm okay giving presentations. I've always like I've rather like just gotten up and like talked in front of a bunch of people. But I used to not be like that. And I figured it out is because I realized that I was my own worst enemy when it came to presentations because you're worried about it more than anyone else is. Like if you're about to give a presentation in front of this whole class, chances are the rest of the class is worried about their presentation. They're not worried about what you are saying. They probably don't care. Not in a bad way, not in a mean way, but they're like in their head and then you're in your head. And so it's just like, okay, this presentation's only like 5 minutes. That's 5 minutes of my life. It's going to be done. It might feel longer, but then it's going to be done. And whatever happens is what happens. And there's after that you can like maybe evaluate how you did, but you're not going to go back and change it. So just kind of take a breath from it. thinking that because I have a presentation next week.
Remind yourself. Keep going.
Yeah, being like, it's okay. It's only like this one's only 3 to 5 minutes, and I'm like, this is only 3 to 5 minutes of my time. It's gonna be all right. I'm probably, if somebody asked me about it like 5 years from now, they'd be like, you remember that presentation? I'm gonna be like, what presentation? I'm not even gonna remember it.
Yeah, I took public speaking last semester, or no. See, I can't even remember. I took it
See?
a 1 or 2, 3, 4, 5, whatever semesters ago. And I remember someone asked me, is taking it, or she's taking it this semester. And she was asking me, oh, like, what did you do for this speech? What did you do for that speech? I need ideas. And I was just like, I couldn't tell you at all. So yeah, and knowing that it's not gonna be permeable in your head. Like it's gonna go away.
I gave a half-hour presentation my first semester of college. Cannot tell you a single thing I said during that presentation because now it doesn't matter. I really could not tell you a single thing. Did all this research. It's okay though. But
Hey,
yeah,
you completed your goal of
I
public
did. I did. So yeah, public speaking is a big one for a lot of people. It's a hard one because, but practice, oh gosh, what is it? It was like practice makes progress, I think, instead of practice makes perfect. And so the more you do it, the more you progress through it. Like, and you might still be a little nervous. I still get nervous before I do these podcasts. And this is my 4th one. So yeah, it gets better.
Yeah, and I don't know if this might be just a me thing, but especially for things that like I'm really nervous about, a lot of times I feel like most of my anxiety is preparation anxiety, and when I'm like actually in the moment, it's not as bad as I thought it was gonna be. Like I was nervous for the podcast too today, but I'm actually having a lot of fun just talking with you guys. So nothing scary, just fun.
I always say that everything, because I mean, I feel like everyone gets nervous about, events or things that happen in their life, but I always say it is for the plot. We're having this conversation and it's just a conversation. We're having fun. And if I do have a speech in a class one day, it's for the plot. That's how I remind myself.
I have a rule, 10 minutes before a test or 10 minutes before a presentation, I don't look at any of it. I do not psych myself out by looking at any of it because the more I look at it, the more I'm going to stress out before it. So I just take the 10 minutes and I listen to music, I talk with a friend, I do something else, but I can't think about it. And that way, when you go into it, you're more chill because then you're like, okay, I got it. I got it. I've been studying, I've been putting in the work, it's going to be okay. So I had a professor.
Or I was gonna say with tests, like whenever I look at it before, it kind of washes out everything I have learned and I know. Because I'm like, whoa, 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 I don't remember seeing that. That wasn't on there. So I also think with like not looking at it at all, like 10 minutes before, that definitely helps me at least because I'm not psyching myself out on what I do know.
Mm-hmm.
I had a professor teach me that. He said he always did that for his he worked as a manager for Coca-Cola. And so he always told me, he was like, I just literally would sit in my office and just like do something else, just talk to someone, and then I would go into the meeting. And I'm like, that is a very good thing to do. And I've applied it ever since, and it's done me pretty good. So I've definitely gotten less stressed about things. Listen, talk to your professors, man. They have so much knowledge they can give you. They know a lot. Don't yeah, get in touch with your professors. A lot of them are really cool people.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
awesome.
Well, I mean, it seems like all of our goals revolve around being nice to yourself, but also, setting aside time for yourself that you're not like burning out. And then realistic goals as well, and that you can get them done in a timely manner. And hopefully, next time we see Miss Elise, she can draw us something and put it on the podcast.
So hopefully that'll be my neck. I'll put that on my goal sheet.
I'm gonna put a picture of the birthday card, and I'm gonna see if people actually listened, because I'll be like, why did I put this here?
That's good. I think
Do a
I
little
remember.
pop quiz.
Yeah. I think I remember the one I gave you. Was it a bunny
It was a
rabbit?
bunny.
Yeah, I remember making that one. I'm glad you liked it.
I loved it because I wasn't expecting it, because my birthday is in the summer, so I
Oh
wasn't
yeah.
expecting a card. And then
Aw.
they were like, "You have something in the room," and I was like, "What?"
Yeah, I guess it might got too little bit late, but I'm glad you still enjoyed
I
it.
don't care.
Yeah.
There's no way y'all could have gotten it to me on my
Yeah.
birthday.
Happy very late birthday. Guess now it's like early birthday because the year restarted.
Yeah, gonna hit the 20 this year. It's gonna be a fun time.
Exciting.
I'm a youngin'.
I know, I cannot wait. I love birthdays. I love everyone's birthdays. I can't wait.
Birthday.
I
When
was
are
just
y'all's birthdays? I'm just curious now.
April 27th.
Okay, you're a month and a day before me. I'm
Yay!
May 28th.
What about you, Elise?
I'm March 13th, so I guess it's coming up
Ooh.
soon.
Love.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh, we're March, April, May.
Oh, that's sweet.
Three Musketeers, some could say.
Yes.
The
We also
March,
have
April.
like all unique colors. Like I'm wearing yellow. I think Victoria blue, and then Claire's that like dark green.
It's like dark green, yeah.
Oh my gosh, look at us.
We're little
Look at-
twins. I love it. Well, this has been a wonderful conversation, and thank you, Elise, for joining us so much. I've had so much fun. I cannot believe. But before we do end, I wanted to ask you a question, because we ask all our guests, because this is the Facilitating the Lightbulb Moments. So have you had a light bulb moment within, work, career, personal life, or anything that's like really stuck out to you?
Yes, and do you want me to describe what we mean by light bulb?
Oh yes, go
Okay.
ahead, girl.
So I guess what we mean by light bulb moment is just a little light bulb is kind of an aha moment where something in your life suddenly clicked or made sense. It may have changed your perception on something important. I guess I'm having trouble thinking of a specific moment on top of my head, but I guess with I guess it's I want to say with SI actually, like just maybe like my first semester, my whole aha moment is realizing, because a lot of times I had a lot of social anxiety and just shyness before I started SI, because a lot of times I was just down on myself. I'm like, oh, no one wants to talk to me, or I don't have anything helpful to say. But I think SI gave me like a self-love aha moment when I realized my students loved coming to my sessions, and that the mentors loved talking to me and hearing my feedback, like about just how I felt about how SI was going and stuff like that. So, and just I feel like it's kind of gave me the aha moment, like, hey, I do have something worth sharing with the rest of the world, and I should keep trying to do it. So here I am now on the SI podcast helping others set goals. So I think that aha moment was correct.
I agree.
Yes.
I agree. Yes, Emily did put in a very good word for you. She has been wanting you on this podcast.
Oh,
She's like,
really?
you gotta get Elise on here. And I was like, girl, I want to. So
Aw.
yes, it was very exciting. Well, thank you for joining us, Elise. I hope you had a great time. As well as you, Claire, for your first episode wrap up.
I loved it.
Yes.
Yes. Okay, well, thank you everybody for joining us for this fourth episode or first episode of the year, however you want to say it. And I'm so excited to see what comes next. If you have any like suggestions or anything of what you want to see next, you can contact us probably on Instagram or something. I'll check whatever. Just look at us. We're UNG_SI. And yeah, I hope everyone has a wonderful day.
Bye,
Thank
guys.
you. Have a great day, everyone.